Hey, so if you're watching this video, you're probably either coached by us, Titus Strength and Fitness, or you are looking for some tips on how to set up for bench. And we want to show you how we normally have our athletes set up for bench. A lot of times that can be a little different based off what federation you're lifting in. If you lift in the USAPL, which is what we lift in, you have a certain set of rules that typically is a little bit different than some of your other federations like USPA and things like that. In the USAPL, you have to make sure that you have certain points of contact that remain flat. So your head has to stay on the bench. Your butt has to remain in contact with the floor at all times. Your feet have to be flat, so you can't be up on your toes. And then we also get a pause command, so we have to bring the bar down to our chest and pause. Get a press command before we can press it off our chest. We have to lock it out. That's more in detail. We're really just talking about the setup and stuff like that today. So one of our main goals is to look at arm positioning. We typically start people where when they come down, they're right at about we want their arm angle basically to pretty much be straight up and down. A lot of times when you get out this way or you get in a little bit closer, that is going to be us looking and tweaking where your strength and weaknesses are. So when somebody's just starting out, they don't know how to bench, we normally try and get people's forearms to be straight up and down with the floor basically when they pull it out. Even when they're locked out, it's just a slight angle out. So if you want to try that, we don't normally judge off that whole thumb to past the knurling thing. That's more of a high school thing. That's what they teach you in high school because they don't really have time to set up everybody's grips to be appropriate. So for us, we start people out where their forearms are pretty much straight up and down whenever you come down to your chest. And we can take a look at that a little bit more. If you feel like you're a little stronger, you can go out wider, or you can come in a little bit narrow if you're more of a tricep dominant lifter. But normally for especially a male, going to the thumb or a larger female, thumb out from the knurling is typically going to be pretty close. That would be more of a narrow grip bench. So we're just talking about setting up for a competition bench. So the other thing we're looking at besides grip is that we want you to get your chest up as high as possible. And a lot of times that means you need to get up as high up on your traps as possible. You'll see a lot of females, and even some males, put their feet up on the bench, drive their chest in, or their traps into the bench, and then slowly lower their feet down to the floor and then lower their butt to the bench before unracking. Some people will unrack before they lower their butt down. For a new person, I would say just get everything in place, get the handoff, and then work on your reps from there. So let's take a look at that. I'll do my setup. We'll go from there. Making sure you can see my feet. So, hope you could see that. Hope you could see where my head stayed flat on the bench. My butt was down on the bench. I had an arch in my back. I'm a small female, so I don't have a lot of space back there to fill into the bench. So I will, you'll basically notice if I'm not wearing a sweatshirt, you can see a lot of the bench in my arch. And that's me trying to get my chest up as tall as possible. So even if you're a larger male or even a larger female, you may not have a big arch, but by driving your chest up, you're gonna keep your posterior chain really tight. You're gonna keep your glutes engaged. The other thing you'll notice is that I kind of had my feet pulled and tucked back. Now my feet were flat. Sometimes I get pulled back too far and I need some cueing from people who can see my feet because I'll kind of like rock up a little bit because they're pulled too far back and I need to turn my toes out and flatten them. Which is a good reason to video, good reason to have some extra eyes on you sometimes so people can call you out on those things. But I was driving through my legs the whole time. So bench press is not just an upper body movement. It's a movement of the entire body. So whenever I come down to my chest, I'm driving my chest up. When I go to press my legs and everything are engaged and everything is pressing that bar up and back towards, up and over my face. So if you don't feel sore, you don't feel like your entire body has kind of used up by the time you're done with bench, you may not be utilizing all the power in your body to the best of its ability. If you guys have any questions, make sure you follow us. We're going to start doing some more of these kind of like tutorials and setups for beginners, because we're getting a lot of beginner athletes coming in. So we'll go into more detail on positioning and hand positioning and foot placement and leg drive and all those things later, but we just wanted to give you a heads up on how to set up your bench. If you have any questions, please make sure you send them to us. You can find us at Titus Strength and Fitness on Facebook and Instagram. And my name is Heather Foss. I am at Miss Fit Foss on Instagram, or Heather Mathis Foss on Facebook. So feel free to reach out anytime, shoot us any questions, comments, concerns. We'll take them. I hope that helped you guys with your setup in your bench.